Hello, you. Happy Wednesday. Come on in and join me for another inspired fireside chat. Today we have with us Micki Havard, and we'll be talking about how getting ready to fit in her wedding dress changed and had a big impact in her life. Also, this week we are having 20% off store-wide with promo code HOLIDAY20. So jump after this, visit our website, and then get the pair of tickets for your friends, family, or anyone in your holiday list. My name is Paola. I am the founder and CEO of Tuckets. Tuckets are high-performing grip socks that give you confidence to step in any barefoot workout and also enhance the foot-brain connection. And remember, our mission is to elevate you through your own feet. Now, let me invite Micki. I'm sure she will be live in any moment. I guess you see that today my setup is a bit changed. Well, I'm not at home and not at the office today. We decided to take a little break, although we're working, just a break of place because we keep doing the same, working. My daughter is studying, but also we enjoy the slopes a bit after the work day. Let me see. It takes always few minutes, so thank you so much for your patience. Yes.
Sorry.
Hello. Hi,
Hey,
Micki. How are you?
Good. I was having some technical difficulties.
That always happens. So I always tell people, give us, an extra minute because sometimes.
Sorry.
No, it's perfect, And then thank you so much for being with us today and for accepting the invitation. So, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great, I can hear you as well. Sometimes you may hear some background noise. I apologize for any noise, but I'm not in my normal setup.
Okay.
You're back. Okay. You're back. So let's start, Micki. So my first question is, who is Micki? I don't want to miss anything, so please, I let you to introduce yourself.
I think I lost you for just a second. Okay, you're back. Sure. Sure. So my name is Micki Havard. My last name is not Fit. but yeah. So I have two children, and I'm married, and I am a Pilates instructor, and I also do some wellness coaching, but I haven't done as much lately as I used to do. So my main job is teaching Pilates, and ever since the pandemic, of course, I don't teach anyone live. I teach everyone, online, and I have an online studio, which came in super handy, with the pandemic. And so most of my students either converted to Zoom classes, or some of them went to my online studio to be able to take the classes whenever they were able, because their schedule may not have fit. And my whole motto about Pilates is really, I want it to be accessible to everybody. So I try to not only make different modifications when I teach a class on my online studio, but also when I do a Zoom class. But I also wanted to do my online studio for that reason, to make it affordable, because it's so expensive, to take a Pilates class. So I decided I wanted to have something that was a lot more affordable. So that's what my online studio came in.
As well. But before we dive into that subject, tell us, how did you find Pilates?
Sure. So when I was, right before I got married, I started taking Pilates, and a couple of my girlfriends took Pilates, and I wanted to be, thin and beautiful for my wedding day. And I was probably, 10 pounds lighter than I am now. And so I started taking Pilates, and I just fell in love with the practice. And once I was married, I still took Pilates, and one of my teachers suggested that I get certified. She said, I think you're really in tune with the practice. So I didn't get certified right away. I had a baby, and then I wanted to do something that was really flexible with my schedule. So prior to teaching Pilates, I was a buyer, so I traveled a lot. So I decided I would, get certified in Pilates just so that I could have something a little more flexible in my work schedule. I had no idea I was going to fall in love with it like I did, and I had no idea that I'd be teaching it this long. I really thought I was going to just teach it for a couple of years, go back to work as, a buyer and travel, but that never happened. I've been teaching for almost 20 years now.
I thought you were like 30. Like, wow.
Amazing. I'm 51. Yeah.
Wow. Well, you look amazing, and
oh no, thank you.
Whatever you do, keep doing it.
My daughter's 30, and my son is 17.
Pilates and a happy life. So
yeah,
you were saying you were a buyer.
Thank you. Pilates. Yes. So I was a buyer for a boutique in Atlanta called Rexter Parks, and I started off in retail, just working in retail, and then I became a buyer, and I traveled to New York and LA and all that fun stuff. And once I had my son, I knew I didn't want to travel like that. My husband also was traveling, so Pilates just became something that not only helped because of the flexibility, but also helped just because of the mental release. Being home with a toddler can be very stressful. So having the socialness of teaching Pilates was a big help.
For another studio, I guess. You became an instructor after being a student. You got certified. Who did you get certified with? Okay.
Yes. Power Pilates. Yes, so I'm certified through Power Pilates, and I started teaching at a boutique studio, and then I started teaching at a couple studios. And when my son got a little bit older, I started teaching a seniors Pilates class at my local YMCA, and I just loved that class. So I probably taught at about three places for about 3 or 4 years. Then I burned out because I was teaching a lot, and then I stopped teaching in studios probably about 10 years into my Pilates teaching, and then I only taught at the Y, and I had some personal students that I taught. I was doing mobile Pilates. I was going to their homes. So I did that for a while, and then about 2.5 years ago, I retired from teaching mobile. I retired from teaching in the Y and studios, and my husband built out the studio in my home, which is just a room in my house. But he built out a home studio, and I started having people come into my home studio. And once I started having people come into my home studio, a lot of my students from my other classes, they were like, we really want to take a class with you. So that's when I started to do my online studio, which was just a little over 2 years now. Yeah, so I was doing wellness coaching through the YMCA. So I was a wellness coach on staff with the Y, and then I started getting other clients outside of the Y. And once I stopped teaching at the Y, I kept on doing my wellness clients because a lot of people wanted more of a holistic approach to fitness, not just Pilates, but they also wanted to know about their food choices and portion control and what to do other than just come to a class. So that's when I really started having more of a holistic approach to teaching my students, from teaching Pilates to teaching them about how to eat and things like that. So I just recently, probably in the last year, I've really reduced my wellness clients down. I'm down to like 2, just because I got so busy with Zoom and online stuff. Is really It's really mentally taxing to teach off on a screen. To me, I think it's more difficult to teach on a screen than it is to teach in person. So I just didn't have the mental bandwidth to continue to do all those things. So I stuck to doing my online classes my
your
Zoom
studio.
classes, and then I
And even
recently
before
launched an
COVID,
app,
you
which was
said that you
a whole
wanted
nother bunch of work.
Pilates to be more affordable. So what has been your experience or feedback from your community that made you
Yes.
take that decision?
Yes. So, when I stopped teaching my class, especially my class for I had a senior citizens class where everyone was over 65, and a lot of those students really didn't want to go to another place, or or they couldn't afford another place because the YMCA was based on their income. And a lot of them, when they said they looked at other studios and it was so expensive, they couldn't afford
Mm-hmm.
it. So that's when I started thinking about offering something that they could take. And it was really designed just for my seniors. It wasn't designed for everyone else. I did a really small, a couple classes that I put up online, and I wanted it to be something they could afford. So $9 a month, totally affordable. If one of my seniors couldn't afford it, then I would give it to them free. But everyone donated something, and then it just kind of snowballed
And
from
then,
there. I had people asking,
so,
can you do
and
more
this has
videos?
grown, of
And then
course,
I had
beyond
people asking,
seniors,
oh, I heard you have an
and you
online,
maintain the price.
class. So
You didn't
that's
raise
really
the
how
price.
it expanded, though. Oh yeah, oh yeah. The price is the same. The price is the same that I started with. So it was an introductory price to begin with, but when the pandemic hit, I didn't want to raise the price because I knew that people were already having trouble buying groceries. Like, so I didn't want to have a more expensive class for the my students. So it was $9.99 when I first started, and then a year later it was $14.99 a month. But then when the pandemic hit, I brought it back down to $9 a month because I wanted people to be able to be able to have a class and not spend, because especially when everyone started doing all those Zoom classes, and those classes were $15 a class, and that's expensive. I mean, and if you want to take multiple classes a week, I just thought that I would
Right.
just keep it. So I
Yeah.
lowered the price
And
again
then,
just to
so
keep people
how,
able to work out from home, because
from
it
a
helps so
business
much, not just physically but
perspective,
mentally,
how
to be able
that
to
has
work
worked?
out.
Can you, yeah, lowering the price? Are you getting more clients?
You mean the lowering the price? I mean, I think that people appreciate it. Yes, a lot more clients. I mean, when the pandemic hit, my membership doubled, literally doubled from the prior to it. So I think that, I mean, it was definitely a smart move business wise, because people definitely responded, but ethically also made me feel good. But I had more growth during the last 9 months on my online studio than I ever had prior to it. And the online
Okay,
studio was in
amazing.
existence
And then I
about
was
18
interested
months
in asking about
before
the
the
price
pandemic,
because
and the
um,
last nine
I want
months
our viewers
have
to have a
really, I mean,
different
grown
perspective
exponentially. It's
of
been
what
amazing.
works for certain people, And I think this is really great what you are doing, and I think the price is a big player
Sure.
for being inclusive many
Yeah,
times, and I think probably this is something that you are achieving as well.
absolutely. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of even out the playing field, because I mean, I think that, I mean, Pilates has a reputation of being, you know, excluding people. I mean, it has a very, kind of snobby feeling to it, that people already don't feel comfortable taking a class, because I think a lot of times when people come in, they don't see other people like them, especially women of color. And then a lot of older people may feel uncomfortable because it seems intimidating. So my online studio is very simplified, and I try not to intimidate, hopefully, but not just price wise, but I don't want to intimidate people even during the practice. So I like to give a lot of different modifications, and I have shorter workouts and long workouts, so people don't feel intimidated by seeing a 50-minute class. I think
Great.
that some people
I
don't
love
think they're
this.
able to do a
Great.
50-minute class.
And
So
then,
I have a variety
Micki,
of classes also. I
my
think that
next
also helps with
question
people feeling
is,
that they can be included in
what
Pilates.
challenges have you encountered in this process, and how have you overcome
Thank you.
them? If you can tell us about one of your main two challenges in the last, let's say, since you decided to launch your own business, since you stopped working for someone else and you became your own brand.
And yeah. Definitely. So, I mean, of course, just the financial hit that you take initially. I mean, when I was teaching in the studio, of course, I knew exactly how much I was going to make. When I was going to make that money. So then, financially, you had to shift and be ready to not necessarily make as much money as you would in the beginning. And there's definitely that time where you're just kind of balancing everything out. The cost of the online studio is not just my time. It's also, my website cost and, shooting the videos and editing and the cost of, hosting the website. So then really trying to make sure that you're making it not just affordable for other people, but affordable for yourself, because you have to be able to, stay in the game. You don't want to price yourself out by having too much overhead, on an online studio. So my challenges were definitely trying to balance my time between teaching my in-person clients. This was before the pandemic, and also, building the inventory for my online studio, because I'm the only person on my online studio. So it's just me. I'm filming stuff, over and over again. I'm editing things like that. So just kind of balancing the time was probably the most challenging thing in the beginning, trying to balance the time between my in-person clients and my online inventory. Yes, exactly. Not to mention, yeah, my husband, yes, my son, that, my daughter's out of the house, obviously, but my son is here. And so it's just, yeah, like you said, it's just one of those things. You have to balance all those things, and your own self-care, trying to practice myself, and doing other things for myself. All, that was probably the most challenging thing for me, just the whole balance. Oh, I'm a one-woman show. Yeah. So what I am, like, very organized, and I set certain days to do things. So I have a certain day to shoot videos for my online studio. I have a certain day to shoot videos for Instagram. I have administration days that I, commit to administration. So that's how I do it. I'm very organized and down to, like, the time. So I start teaching my clients at 9 o'clock, and then on certain days, and then after that, I'm sitting down to do certain things. So I really chart out my days on a schedule. So
I'm losing you now and then.
Uh-oh. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Hopefully. No.
Okay. Yes, now I can hear you. You look a bit blurry, but I guess it's a connection.
Uh-oh. Well, I'll try to say it again. If you can hear me, hopefully you can hear me. Can you hear me again? Okay. 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 Yeah, I was just saying that I'm very scheduled, and I schedule everything out. I have certain days for filming, certain days for administration, and certain days for my clients. And I'm just really rigid on my schedule, and that's the best way to do it. And then I also have a shut off time where I don't do work after 6:30, and I try not to do work on the weekends very much, because you'll start bleeding into the weekend and bleeding into the evening, and then everything is just all about work. So that's how I do. I really try to be really strict about the time that I use.
Compartments for everything, and especially being a one-woman show. So wow, amazing. Sure. And then so
I agree.
Who do you admire, or who has inspired you in the Pilates world?
Absolutely. One of my biggest inspirations is my friend Carrie Russo. She's amazing, and not just because she's an amazing Pilates instructor, because she is, but she's just one of those people that's really generous with like information. If I ever asked her a question, she would be, so helpful to, to assist me. And that's really priceless, because I think a lot of people are afraid to share information because they think that people are competition. And that's sad to me, especially with women. I think women compete against each other a lot in business, and I don't think men do that. So also my friend Jill Harris, she's amazing. She's been really generous with her information, and we share a lot. My friend Michelle Duval, who's Bar Variations, she has her own certification program. She has been a huge inspiration to me. And I'm gonna say their Instagram names too, because I think people won't know who they are. My friend Alexa, who is Low Impact, on Instagram, she has been a huge support to me. So being supportive inspires me, because I think that as women, I think that we have to really try to support each other, because I don't think men have that kind of competition in that way. And I think that women have to really be more supportive of each other. So those are my inspiring people from my
given your
Pilates world.
experience
And also a
teaching
teacher
for
of
so
many
many
that
years,
helped
launching
me
your
when I first
business,
began. Her
what
name is
advice
Letitia,
would you
who
give to
was my
someone
inspiration,
that
because
wants to
she was the
follow
person who
your
trained
path,
me.
that want to just, jump and launch her own business, her own Pilates business, or any other fitness?
Yeah. So I would say start where you are. And because I think a lot of people are afraid to start because they don't think they have enough. They don't have, I don't have a real camera. I don't have a real studio. I don't have, start where you are. Start filming things. If you want to teach a class, start filming in your room, your bedroom, your, outside the park. So my biggest advice would be start where you are. And the second thing would be to be audacious enough to do something Joseph Pilates was audacious enough to create a whole new program. And I'm
And
sure that
this
he had
reminds
people
me
who
of
doubted his
something.
program, but I think you have to
One
have some
advice, and
audacity
probably it has been one of
to
the best
to
advices I
challenge,
got, and
what's
aligns
out
very
there, and not
much
be
with what you
afraid to
said.
create something of your own.
When I was starting Talkets, I also had my daughter and everything. And then I remember I went to the Small Business Administration, the SBA, and they have mentors. And I went with my
Uh-huh.
samples. I didn't have a business plan or anything. And I wanted to give, get some, I had many questions, so some advice. And then the
Yeah.
guy, it was someone retired already that worked in the fashion industry.
Right.
And he told me, I shouldn't tell you this because here they ask us to do the opposite. But you don't need a business plan. You are so ready. Just go and launch and figure it out along the way. And I think that was one of the best advices
Right.
that I got when I was starting, because I have seen many people with great ideas.
Yeah, I agree.
But looking for perfection. And then perfection, I think, is the enemy of action. So, I totally agree with that advice. And I think
Yes.
it's really, really valuable. Thank you. Yeah, just jump and start.
I
And now,
totally agree.
Talkets is about feet. So let's talk about your own feet. So what is your relationship with your own feet? Do you like your feet?
Just start. Yeah.
Any issues with your feet?
Sure. So, I love this. This is a great question. So, my feet are always cold, so I always wear socks. So I love your socks, by the way. But my feet are always really cold. I have like really bony feet, and when I used to be a long distance runner and a retail, so my feet always gave me a problem because I was standing on them all the time and I was running all the time. And when I started taking Pilates, I started taking more care of my feet, with stretching and things like that. So I had problems with my feet actually prior to taking Pilates, just from standing all the time, and then again from running. So I think that it's one of those things where people don't they I think it's probably one of the most neglected parts of our body. I don't think that people take the time to, stretch them or take care of them. So, I mean, I have probably tuned in more in probably the last 10 years,
Yeah,
just being really aware
kind
of
of
like
that's
stretching my
exactly
feet
our
and
mission, is
exercising
to raise
my feet.
awareness
And
of the
because I
importance
started
of
having
the
issues
feet,
with them after I
because
was
usually
riding for
they
so
get
long.
hidden, abandoned, not engaged as they should be. And we believe we can elevate women through
Absolutely.
their feet. And that's for sure something
Right.
that the more topics move forward and the more interaction I have with people
I love that.
and our own clients, we can really see the impact of taking care of your feet. So talking about that, well, yeah. Thank you. And actually, I remember I told Carrie, can you please send
I do have on my little
that
tuckets,
pair,
by the way.
lavender pair, because that goes with your leotard. You have one lavender leotard that is gorgeous. And I was like, oh my God, that one is perfect for that leotard. So great. Thank you for wearing them. And then, so we are going to send you one of our gift sets with, of course, some pockets. I don't have it here with me to show.
Oh, of course.
But, and it comes in this very gorgeous reusable bag that is made of plastic.
Oh, thank you.
And also it has some food care
products.
Okay. We partnered with a reflexologist, Peace Rose Apothecary, and she also developed her own products because she couldn't find one.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then the key is magnesium. And then, so we're going to send you, it comes with foot cream and liquid cream. And if anyone wants them, they're available also on our website. Oh, wow. But we will send you a little Christmas gift. Oh, Micki.
Thank you.
I lost you. Are you here? I think it froze a bit.
Thank you.
Okay, I see you. I see you.
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, there we go. I think we're back.
Yeah, now I can hear you. And then,
yeah.
So Micki,
I can hear you now
at
perfectly.
the end of our,
can you hear me? Am I still frozen?
Since you have been wearing tuckets, let me ask you, why do you love tuckets?
Well, there's three things that I love about them. I mean, one is the fit, because I have like really skinny feet, and I love the fit of the tuckets. And number two, of course, I love the style. I mean, the style is just super cute. But I love the fact that they're created by a woman, and that is like number one for me. I'm very into supporting women-owned businesses. So that's the biggest thing for me. I love to support a small business, and even more to support a small woman's business. So that's probably the favorite thing, that you're a woman and you created it.
And then one of really my motivations is supporting women, from the people that work with us, my team.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And other businesses, like, for example, Kat Bromet from Peace Rose Apothecary. And I also do believe, and I think I have seen it more during the pandemic, it's like there is room for everyone. There is always a customer for everyone. You can sell whatever you want, your classes, stocks, and there is room for everyone, as long as you do it, of course,
I agree,
under certain conditions. This is great. It has been great talking to you. My very last question is,
I totally agree.
Just very quickly tell us why anyone should take a class with you.
Thank you.
Well, Micki, I don't want to lose that answer. I cannot hear you.
Oh, thank you. I love that question. Well, if you've never taken Pilates, you should take a class with me, because I definitely
will. This is a very important answer. I want to make sure we hear you properly. Okay, let's try again.
Are we back?
Let's
Can you
try
hear me
again.
now? A little better? No?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely. Let me know when we're back. That's better? Okay. Okay, what I was saying was that I hope that if the experience that people have with my class and I take it is that they feel comfortable with Pilates. And so if it's your first time taking Pilates, I hope you feel comfortable because I will definitely give modifications. But if you've been taking Pilates, I hope that I will challenge you with Pilates. And that's what I think people often don't understand if they've never taken Pilates, that the same exercise can benefit a beginner and an advanced student. It's just how you execute it and how the teacher either modifies it or accelerates it. So I would hope that if you take a class from me, that you feel that you're either challenged if you've already taken Pilates, but also that you feel welcome and that you can understand it if you're new to Pilates.
Perfect. Micki, thank you so much.
They can go to the link in my profile or just MickiFit.com. Everything's there.
I know there was a lot of communication issues. If
Thank you.
And if anything, we can have you again another time. Yes, the same for you. Happy holidays.
Yeah, it'll be okay, I think.